Hi, everybody. This is Bliss, known as the Nerdish Queen. I just came back from the store, and also, this is my third time making a video. Um, I right in the middle of the video, I actually got a call, and today is my birthday. So, it has actually been one of the best birthdays ever. Um, for the main reason that I am finally walking in my purpose. Um, I've been writing every day. Almost every day. Um, I decided to give myself a break last week because I needed it. I just needed it. And I'm giving myself permission to give myself breaks um, to rejuvenate my brain. But before, um, I wasn't walking in my purpose. I was doing everything else but walking in my purpose. And um, I've always ran from writing. And I think that I don't think it was malicious intent. Older people have a tendency to think more about, you know, uh, money and survival and what's going to make money and how are you going to survive. So when I came home from school and said that I wanted to be a writer, it wasn't, you know, um, I was raised, I lived in a house from I lived in a house for a while with my grandparents, and you know, um, talking about being a writer, it doesn't pay good, you know, um, in their eyes, and you know, I don't think that they really understood, what a writer really does, or anything like that. So I think that they thought a writer was someone who was on the bestsellers list and, writing for TV and, writing movies and, being famous. And, so what I'm talking about is that's not what finding your talent and your purpose is all about. It's not about being famous. It's not about becoming rich. And this is something that I want to add to my post for today for Communication Mondays. Um it's about, using your talents to further the community, to bring the community together, to tell the story, to add to the circle, you know? Because I see these videos, and even in the past, like I was always attracted to, what was going on, and, in different cultures, and the way they told stories. And the way they told the stories were through art, uh, through verbal storytelling, and through music. And then you had, the sciences. Then you had the mathematicians. And you had the astrologers, you know. But, you know, it isn't all about becoming well known, And I think that that has to be made clear. You know, I mean, what's wrong with, if someone wants to be, a singer, because there are, you know, singers and some great musicians within the community that don't necessarily, they have such a love for music that they don't necessarily need to, you know, become famous, or rich. I mean, I think everybody wants to have enough money to, buy the things that they need and want. But all they want to do is have enough money to live off of and possibly give back to the community so they can help, this next person take another person in and show them the way, as far as becoming a teacher. We are all teachers. We are all teachers. And, you know, it's not about, becoming famous. It's not about becoming rich. But if we're not walking in our purpose, I think we're always on this search to find ourselves. Now, when I was told that, I should major in something that was going to make me some money, I did just that. I enrolled in a nursing program, and I made fairly good grades. But I couldn't pass chemistry, and I took it twice, and I had a tutor for one, and it just wasn't working out. So I'm like, you know what, this isn't me, and I majored in another program, and I just couldn't. I made good grades, but it was just so boring. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't see this being my life. And I majored in music, and I was a voice major, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't see myself doing this. And I was going through vocal training, and I did it, and I was just like okay with it, and I made good grades. I did. I made really good grades, and I'm really shy, and I didn't want to do it. I did not want to, you know, stop doing what I was doing to because of a voice. I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, and at that time I was smoking hella weed. So I'm like, this ain't for me. I love music, but I don't love to sing. I like to write. I don't want to sing. So it's like I decided, okay, you know what? I like the music. I like the music. I like writing. I don't want to sing. So I'm like, you know what? No. And something happened spiritually. This is when I went all natural. This is back in 2000. This is when I went all natural. It was just a spiritual thing for me. It wasn't something that I had any control over. I felt like I didn't have any control over. I cut all my hair off. It was a spiritual thing. And I ended up transferring schools, and I got into a communications program, and I put stories together visually and verbally through uh, visual art, you know, and I excelled in it, but that still wasn't for me. It was still the writing. And I ended up meeting a professor, and I told him, we talked, for a while. And I told him I wanted to be a writer, you know, but, there was something that was holding me back. And so I wrote a paper for his class one day, and I had never seen so much red in my life. See, because a lot of professors, what they do now is they grade on content. They don't grade on punctuation. They don't grade on grammar necessarily. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I be a writer? What am I thinking? And that pushed me to, and I think it scared me, and I'm like, I'm not a writer, I'm not a writer, oh my gosh, I'm not a writer, what am I gonna do? But I decided that I wasn't going to uh abandon writing completely. And I ended up, a few years later, I ended up taking a writing workshop. And oh my gosh, I was the only black person in the classroom, okay? I was the only black female. The black person and the only black female in the class. Well, no. There were two other black, there was there was two black people in the class, and it was me and another black woman in the class. And I really didn't see her in the class that much, so that's why I say I was the only black woman in the class. I didn't see her a lot in the class, but they shredded my stuff to pieces. But I made the necessary changes that I wanted to in the, because they didn't really understand the culture, but I made the necessary changes that I had to, and I listened, and I went and bought a book, and I dug into that book. I learned how to develop my characters. I'm nosy. So I listen to people conversations, which is something I did anyways. I listen to people conversations when I'm out. I look at people, and I may look too much. That's why I like wearing sunglasses. But I look at people, and I look at their mannerisms, the way they move, the way if they cross their legs or if they twirl their hair, or if I look at it all. I look at that person and I'm like, who are you? What is your home life like? You're okay now. You're sitting here now. But who are you when you're behind closed doors? So, character development. I do all of that. But anyways, walk in your purpose. Find out your purpose. Look at the kids. You know what I'm saying, that are around you. Don't hinder them. Let them be. Guide them. Correct them. But don't tell them to stop dreaming. You know, let them be who they are supposed to be, because they'll tell you who they are and they'll show you who they're supposed to be. Maybe, you know, you don't necessarily know what they're trying to say and what they're telling you. But if I promise you, if you continue watching them, they'll show you. They'll show you. All right, I'm out. This is Bliss. Peace and love.